But the youngster gave him that necklace, and Mookie's not taking it off since.
Official score. We'll see if they rule this as a base hit and a throwing error.
I agree with you. I think that's the way it's got to be. Base hit E6. Here's Corey Seager, who is 2 for 2. 2 runs scored, 3 runs batted in. A 3-run blast in the second inning. Luke will head down to third on the wild pitch.
Well, this was the comfort zone as far as the score for the Dodgers if you look at last year. When they scored 4 runs or more, their record, 26 wins, 5 losses. And they were pretty well prepared to go into postseason play, just en route to win the World Championship. Month of September, the Dodgers went 17-7. But they did more than just 17-7 in September. They scored 145 runs to 99. They hit 50 home runs to 26.
They had no problem scoring runs.
No.
1-1 to Seager. 2-1.
And then leading after 7 innings. And again, if you're just joining us, this is slated for only 7 innings today. But the Dodgers a season ago, when they led in a ball game, 7th inning on, they were 36 wins, 4 losses.
Infield in for Seager, nobody out. Dodgers 3 for 5 with runners in scoring position so far today. 2-2.
That's the splitter, which is an off-speed pitch.
With Hoyer, you can see it in the glove before he throws it.
Yeah, if you're looking on television from the center field camera, a little hard to see from home plate, though.
See what grip he's got here. Full count. Seager awaits the payoff pitch from Cody Hoyer. Stay alive. That's at third. 6-0 Dodgers, bottom of the 4th. And Seager goes down swinging. 1 out.
Third baseman number 10, Justin Turner.
Turner's been on base twice. Walked in the second inning. He singled and scored in the first. So the players have to say, well, this is going to be a good afternoon. The regular guys getting 3 at-bats in by 4 innings. And some of the substitutes probably happy as well, figuring they're going to get a longer game in today.
And for Justin Turner, only 2 at-bats yesterday. Dodgers did not have what you would consider yesterday as awesome offense.
Not really. Not yesterday.
Corey Seager was talking to Bill Plunkett, the Orange County Register, earlier this morning and talking about really last year. And from an offensive standpoint, he said, look, what we wanted to do is to pass the baton and just be a good team. Did it with the bats. One thing that Seager was talking about was the mindset that has been in place for the last number of years for an offensive standpoint. Wear down the opposing pitcher. Be selective. Take walks if need be. That's what they've done here today as well. Comes a splitter.
One and two. Turner trying to get Mookie Betts home. Lucroy kept him at third base, blocking that splitter in the dirt. Field drawn in, one out. They went upstairs, and that time Turner chased it. He strikes out.
Well, each of the last two batters with Seager, they throw a lot of the splitters, and then the fastball up and away. They threw the splitter to Turner, and then the fastball elevated as well.
Jay Pollock out of Notre Dame. Betts had the leadoff single. There was a throwing error by Tim Anderson on the play. They put him to second base. He went to third on the wild pitch. Seager and Turner have both gone down swinging, and Pollock falls behind 0-1. Julio Urias outstanding today. David Price good too. 1-2-3 inning in the fourth, his first action in a year. Still a couple of pitchers they're trying to get back into activity. Pollock goes the other way, and there to play it is Luis Robert. So the Dodgers leave Mookie at third. We'll go to the top of the fifth inning. Dodgers 6, White Sox nothing. Scheduled to go 2 innings today, but he went 3. 4 pitches in the first, 8 in the second, went out for a third. He faced 9 Chicago hitters, got them all out. David Price, first action in a year and a day. There's 1. There's 2. He got the third guy, so 1, 2, 3. Price is back in action again. Here's Enny Romero now. Will be the third Dodger pitcher today, pitching in the top of the 5th inning. So I think you got to be pretty encouraged by the work of Julio and David here this afternoon.
Absolutely. I think if you look at Urias, it comes on and the pitch count was exceptionally low. And for David Price, again, I touched upon having a feel, getting a feel back into it. And he had a feel on what is really a finesse pitch, that being the off speed, the changeup.
Yohan Moncada bounces one foul. Some changes for the Dodgers defensively. So Stevie Berman's face there. He's doing the catching now for Enny Romero. Sheldon Noisey's at third. Jacob Amaya is at shortstop. Michael Busch came in at second base last inning, so he's already out there. Davidson's already at first. And Ryan Noda is the new right fielder. Mookie Betts done for the day, and Andy Burns takes over for A.J. Pollock in left. Moncada hits this one high to center field. James Outman will make the catch. One gone for the White Sox in the fifth. Eloy Jimenez walking to the plate for Chicago. The Dodgers have some interesting lefties in camp. Eloy Jimenez being one. James Pazos another. Pazos may pitch today too. But those two are both non-roster invites. First ball swinging for Jimenez. Outman to the track and up against the wall, retires it.
Notice Outman, he covers a lot of ground. Made 3 very good catches in the first or second game of spring training. One diving, one sliding, and one just basically off the shoot tops in that game. So it's going to be interesting to watch.
Vaughn takes low. One ball, no strikes to Andrew Vaughn, who flied to Mookie Betts in right in the second inning. 1-1. You saw Outman go back to the wall, and you've had to do that many times in your career. And you had to do it with less padding, especially when you're at Wrigley Field and the brick wall. You know where the warning track is under your feet, but the warning tracks are all different. Well, that gets past Noisy and out into left field. And Vaughn will head for second base. So that's the first base runner today for the White Sox. Dodgers had 14 up, 14 down to start the game, and then Vaughn ends up getting to second.
Oh, not too many times you get one past Justin Turner at third base. He was talking about a play that he made the other day over in Surprise. A smash. He said you get down really in the same level. In fact, Turner is now left at third base, but we've seen that really as a hot corner already in spring. There have been some rockets hit down there.
Adam Eaton watches the curveball drop in for a strike. We were talking about the warning tracks, and they're all different places.
Yeah. I forget the exact date, but baseball, one of the great improvements that they made is in all the ballparks. In one particular year, they made it mandatory that every park have a warning track.
Busch, quick throw to first, gets Eaton. So the Vaughn hit ruled a double, but Romero faces 4, gets 3, and it's 6-0 Dodgers after 4.5. Your favorite Dodger Stadium eats are available at home through Dodgers Home Plates. From Dodger Dogs to garlic fries and nacho helmets, get a taste of the ballpark experience. Delivered on demand. Search for Dodgers Home Plates on Postmates and order your stadium favorites for the next game now. Lots of youngsters out here enjoying the Dodgers. Now there's one, Rick. That's an interesting piece of jewelry, huh?
Well, if you're going to show off a world championship, it might as well be what I do like. It's not Flava Flav with clock. This one has some importance to it.
Yeah, that gives new definition to the term show chain right there.
Well, my question is, Flava Flav, who wears the chain with the clock, where does he have to be in an exact time anyway?
I don't know, but I'm just marking down the time you said Flava Flav on a television game.
Exactly.
So Mookie Betts heading out. Regulars will head out. Let's see, what time was that? 1:37 Pacific time. Rick, Flav. I'm going to go 6-0 Dodgers. And Andy Burns fists this one down to first base. Abreu beats him to the bag, one down.
By the way, on the warning tracks, according to Baseball Feats and a book that came out, 1950s warning tracks are at least required in the outfields. Until the 70s, sometime in the 70s. And while the warning tracks are really great, I have always been a great proponent in making all of the warning tracks standard distance from either the fence or the stands. And here's my reason why. Is that, as an outfielder going after a ball and an infielder going after a ball, you have, 2.5 strides? Well, this is a very big warning track. This is a deeper warning track than either in Chicago or LA. Yes, you got different dimensions. But I think the really great improvement the Major League made was to pad the fences for the most part. Keeping players healthy, keep them on the field.
One place that we've been recently as 2019, that is a concern, I would think, because of the way the warning track is. Rangel Ravelo, slow roller to short. The ball ends up to first for the out. But the reason I bring that up is because it's field turf. But the only thing that differentiates a warning track is that the color of the field turf is different.
Right.
So under your feet, it feels exactly the same.
You cannot feel it underneath. Ideally, you want to have a warning track like Dodger Stadium, for example. It's a cinder type of material. You can feel that. You don't have to look down. You can actually feel it as you're running.
So when you show up at a new ballpark during batting practice, do you go out there, kind of take a informal measurement of it?
Absolutely. To be able to judge. You have 2.5 strides until impact. Also, you check the wall. Are the walls bouncy? Does the ball come off the wall dead?
Michael Busch grounds it to the left side. And for the Dodgers, a very quiet bottom of the fifth. 3 up, 3 down. Head to the 6th. Dodgers 6, White Sox nothing. This guy right here thinking about when he's going to be the next first-round pick for the Dodgers. Won't be too long. This guy was last year. He's just 21 years of age out of Louisville. Bobby Miller make his second spring training appearance. 29th pick overall last year. And he had a successful spring debut, his first professional outing. Again, he didn't have a season last year after things were shut down. So he will have a minor league season this year. He'll face the grizzled veteran Jonathan Lucroy. So Bobby Miller and Lucroy meeting for the first time. Fastball inside, 1-0.
And with so many players not playing last year, not able to compete, how much will that affect their advancement possibly in maturing as players, skill level?
A couple of things to think about. First of all, this year they're going to play fewer games. Everybody in the minor leagues will play 120 games this year. I'm hearing there's no playoffs. They're just going to play a regular season, as far as what I've been told by a couple of sources. It's not official as far as I know, but they will probably not be. My guess would be organizations would not be traveling players or calling them up as frequently, moving them around as frequently either, at least to start the season. So it's a good point. I mean, how will that affect development this year? At least they'll have a season. They'll have a substantial one at 120 games, but hopefully they can make the most of it. But you'd think a guy like Miller, after a season, maybe this season, maybe next, would be a candidate for the Arizona Fall League. To continue his.
Well, the name of the game is to advance is competition.
Miller with a full count on Lucroy. He tried to go downstairs, didn't make it, so he walks him. And Lucroy aboard, just the second Chicago base runner. Nick Madrigal comes up for the second time. He bounced out back to Julio Urias to end Urias's 3 innings of work today. I remember when Jerry Royster was with the Dodgers as the AAA manager and having a discussion with him about developmental baseball. And I think we were discussing at the time, I'm pretty sure we were discussing Joe Thurston, who was a Dodger prospect at the time. The pinch runner comes on, and I think it's Matt Reynolds, by the way. I think you know, he was telling me that, you know, developmental baseball is developmental baseball. You know when you're ready to move on, and the organization knows when you're ready to move on to the next level. But no matter where you are, you have to do all of the same things to develop. And the better you get at it and the more consistent you get at it, the better your chances to move up.
I think, too, with younger players, because the advancement and just the challenge and the competition is what helps you polish your skills. You know, you can go out and work out. You can have all kinds of bullpen sessions. You can get in the batting cage time and time again. But it's not the level of competition.
Strike call to Madrigal, 2-1.
With the game on the line, with all the different aspects in it. You know, you can take fly ball after fly ball. Practice that. It's not the same as the thinking game with runners on base, a fly ball that's hit to you in the outfield, for example, or in the infield. What's the score? Where are you in the ball game?
Pulls this one down to third. There's one. Bush the turn. That's a double play around the horn.
And Madrigal fell down at home plate. So the play goes to second base. Had all the time in the world to go to first base. And Madrigal just got his feet caught up and went down in a cloud of dust at home.
Noisy started the twin kill. Good turn at second. Davidson finished it up. 2 down, and Tim Anderson back up there.
It's like from time to time we'll have conversations. Someone will say, well, you know, you're fortunate enough to play in the big leagues, you've been around it. We have a son, or we have a cousin, or we have a nephew that wants to play, or a grandson, whatever it may be. What's the best advice you have? Play. I happen to be a believer that multiple sports will help you develop even better if you have an interest in playing those sports.
I agree with you. In today's day and age, you have so many athletes at the high school level that specialize, and there are coaches who demand that in certain programs.
Yeah, well.
But I do think that in having conversations with multiple GMs, as Noisy makes a nice play, they want athletes. They want athletes. Noisy making the play, and we'll go to the bottom of the sixth. 6-0. Dodgers. The Park Store is now open Tuesday through Saturday at Dodger Stadium. See Instagram at Dodgers Top of the Park for store hours and details on how to purchase for home delivery. That jersey may have been from the Top of the Park store. We don't know. Lots of that gear might be. World Champion T-shirts. And Jose Ruiz takes over to face the Dodgers in the bottom of the 6th inning. White Sox have some defensive changes too. So Ruiz will face the bottom part of the Dodger order, starting with Matt Davidson. One thing we were talking about, Rick, just before the break was specializing versus multi-sport athletes. And I think when you look up and down baseball rosters, you do see a lot of players that played football, basketball, as well as baseball. And you talk to people about that and say, why is that a good thing? So it's a good thing because you use different muscle memory.
Skills.
Different skill sets. Exactly.
Skills, and especially when you start to talk about the motor skills and developing.
Comes the 0-1. Davidson, the former Chicago White Sox pitcher and infielder, fouls it away. 0-2. No balls, 2 strikes. That's outside. You know, with youth development in baseball too, there are many leagues and many instances where the athletes can take advantage of travel ball But not everybody can do that, which I think limits some of that higher competition. I think due to some, finances in some cases, it's a tough thing for a lot of parents to handle. And as Davidson gets plunked, he'll head down to first base. And it would be good to have good opportunities for kids, obviously, to play in other leagues, which they can, but to even play more, to have more opportunities.
There are some that will disagree, and that's all well and good. You can have some nice conversations, but I've always believed that the more you can play, and if you can go full circle, and if you're interested in playing other sports, I really have a difficult time in the demands of, well, you can only play with us.
Strike one to James Outman.
And if you have disagreeing opinions, send your letters to Flava Flav.
Yeah, now I know what to get you for a gift. Now I get you a big clock.
Seriously, why does he wear?
I don't know.
Where does he have to be in exact time to have to wear a clock around his neck?
I don't know.
That's the way to wear the chain right there with the World Championship.
Now, if you had a big hand and a little hand on there,
exactly,
then it would be really good.
Then it would be showing it's time to win another World Championship.
Exactly.
Which, by the way, just the moniker of World Champion, does that have a great sound to it?
Oh, it is so good. And you know it from the 1981 team.
Well, I wear evidence of it every day.
You got the ring on. And you'll have another one soon.
Bigger. Now they're the size of bracelets.
I know. It was described to me, or to us, to the staff, it was described as blingy. As Outman takes a walk. A base runner for the Dodgers here in the bottom of the sixth inning. So runners on first and second. Davidson over to second base. Outman down to first. And Sheldon Noisy coming up. So Noisy with two on and nobody out. Facing Jose Ruiz. And a strike call.
Ruiz is a guy also that signed a pretty big contract when he first came on. Over $1 million deal with the Padres as a catcher.
And Noisy to right center field. That's down for a hit. Davidson will be waved home. And the Dodgers lead it 7-0. RBI base hit for Noisy.
Stayed right on it, too. I mean, this is just very good hitting. Ball out away from him. You stay right on top of it. It's a breaking ball. I'm trying to pull it. Go with the pitch, and it's it right out in the middle of right center field.
First and third and nobody out. Ryan Noda. Noda came from Toronto as the player to be named later in the Ross Stripling trade. Fouls this one away down the third base side. 1-1 to Noda. So the guys that get the opportunities, Rick, late in these games to come in and show what they can do and have the organization get eyes on them. What do these guys do to prepare that's any differently than the regulars?
I think especially when you're coming over from another organization. And one of the things I notice about Noda is the timing is still not there, not quite there. And one of the reasons might be the fact that you watch his hands as he begins a stride. There's still a little movement going backwards with the hands. And if you are constantly late, although you can see right now he's choked up on the bat a considerable distance now with 2 strikes. But watch the hands. The stride goes forward. The hands have a tendency to still be going back.
Did he hold up? They want an appeal. He held up.
And when the stride is taking place, that's where you want to be in that power position to begin with. You see the hands as he strides. I mean, it's not much at all, but it's just enough to be maybe a half a click off. So it's timing. He'll get the timing and he'll get into it. But right now, you know, he's a big guy, has a big stride as well. But back to your point, not only do you preparing to play late in the game, but if you're coming from one organization to another, you're wanting to put your best foot forward as rapidly as you can to say, hey, look, thanks, guys. I'm happy to be here. But you want to be more than just here. You want to be a part of it.
Go to a new organization too, and it's kind of like
it's really exciting time.
Yeah, drinking out of a fire hose for a little bit, learning where everything is and who everybody is. But you still have to play.
So he's in a good position to begin with. Kind of a wide stance. That's fine.
7th pitch of the at-bat's fouled back.
But see, he's had 3 or 4 pitches now that he's fouled off, and he's only just a flash of a second off. He's on the ball. But that ball's getting in on him just a little bit.
Inside corner, got him. Noda down on strikes.
I would have thought this was inside. So on a 3-2 pitch, instead of walking to first, he goes back to the dugout. That's the other part about late in the ball game, quite frankly. Not that the umpires are going to sway one way or another, but you're not going to get the benefit of the doubt in a few calls either late in the afternoon.
Jacob Amaya takes a strike. South Hills High School, West Covina, 11th round pick, 2017. His grandfather Frank played 4 seasons in the Brooklyn Dodgers organization in the mid to late 50s. Second time for Amaya where he has been a non-roster invite. He was there last year and here again.
I like what they see from a glove from a defensive standpoint. The swing, look on that one right there. He was going to do some damage to the baseball. The swing got a little bit too long, but he kind of falls in the same category as Amaya, along with Estevez, who's really shown very good gloves at the shortstop position.
To right center, and that's down for a base hit. So Amaya comes up with a knock, driving in Outman. 8-0 Los Angeles.
Well, Corey Seager was telling Bill Plunkett earlier today, just pass the baton and keep the line moving.
Had to meet and get the ball in quickly, so there he is. Amaya's at first base. Noisey's at third. Outman came in to score. Dodgers are 5 for 11 this afternoon with runners in scoring position. The catcher, Stevie Berman. First and second, one out. Jose Ruiz out of the stretch. Fires in a strike. Tomorrow night, be under the lights over in Goodyear. TV and radio tomorrow. Yours truly, along with Rick and Kirsten tomorrow night. It'll be Jimmy Nelson getting a start against Sonny Gray. Wednesday night, Diamondbacks are back at Camelback Ranch. Clayton Kershaw will make his second spring start. He looked good in his first one. Pitch to Berman is down low. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Berman was a 31st rounder in 2016. Santa Clara University. All West Coast Conference performer. And he goes down swinging.
Getting back again to what you were talking about with the younger players that are coming on into the game. I've always felt it is so important to be able to get them into games to where they feel like they're part of the organization, not just at the minor league level and am I out of sight and out of thought, but they learn about expectations. In other words, conversations in the dugout, the preparation to find out, hey, scouting reports, here's what we find out, information at the big league level. It's one of the things that we hear from the young call-ups after September 1st is that, hey, look, we understand the progression of information that we're going to be feeding you as a player as you progress up the ladder, and especially at the major league level. There's a huge amount of information that's thrown at them.
Andy Burns 0 for 1. He's in the hole now. 1 ball, 2 strikes. And these guys like Burns and Noisy, they've been around. They've been playing for quite a while. They've been playing at high levels. And they know how to prepare, but they can always learn something anytime you're in a dugout, just listening to conversations, listening to guys who do well. Strike 3 called as Burns watched it over the outside edge. So 3 strikeouts in the inning, but 2 runs in. And the Dodgers have extended their lead as we go to the 7th. 8-0. Left-hander James Pazos to pitch the 7th against the White Sox. 8-0. Dodgers in front. 2019 at AAA, 46 games. He's been around the big leagues. Been with the Rockies for a while, Yankees, and he's been a veteran left-hander. He's trying to find a way to slip into this Dodger bullpen. So far, pretty good spring for Pazos. On an inning and 2/3, allowed 1 run, 1 hit. Also been with the Mariners, most recently with the Rockies. And then signed the minor league deal with the Dodgers this past December. The University of San Diego, James Pazos fires this one high for a ball. 1-0.
Oh, the bullpen, talk about competition. Starting rotation for the Dodgers. Talk about competition. Eight defensive positions on the field with the Dodgers. Talk about competition.
It's going to be tough to break into this Dodger roster. Mark Pryor, pitching coach, keeping a close eye on Pazos. He's been an interesting guy to watch so far. Facing Luis Robert. Well, back 2-1. And what could make it even more interesting or difficult is what we were talking about with David Price, and he apparently has already talked to the press today. And David saying that before they signed Trevor Bauer, right before they signed him, that he reached out to Andrew Friedman and said, whatever happens, I'm willing to do whatever you need me to do, meaning come out of the bullpen or start. So he is open to doing either role. Still a lot of spring training left to figure this out, though.
The Dodgers have some tough decisions to make, but boy, they're going to be some very nice, difficult decisions.
Two-two pitch. Three and two now. And the payoff now to right field and the right side, and it's picked up by Bush. Robert trying to go the other way. Michael Bush there. One out in the seventh.
Did everything right as a hitter, but there's a glove. Hang with him.
So this will be a 7-inning game, and in spite of the fact the Dodgers are up, we do expect a bottom of the seventh. Jose Abreu going the route today. Tony La Russa getting his regulars in there for 3 at-bats, and that's the key. You get 3 at-bats, but when you don't hit as a team, you're getting your 3rd at-bat in the 7th inning. The White Sox have not hit as a team today. They've got just 1. And that hit was Andrew Vaughn, and it was a ball hit down the third baseline that Sheldon Noisy couldn't play. But the Hall of Famer, one of the winningest managers of all time, Tony La Russa. Second time around managing the White Sox. Managed the Cardinals. Had a very successful run with the Cardinals.
Tony, who played in just 132 major league games, 40 starts, had 176 at bats at the major league level.
Two one to Abreu. Good pitch at the knees for a strike.
And one of the things that we talk about with Tony La Russa is that, you know, when we were teammates, he was finishing up his education. Well, he went on to get his JD degree out of Florida State, but then made the decisions that he would rather ride the buses in the minor leagues than to practice law for a living.
And he did.
Ball down.
Well, he didn't have to ride the buses at the minor league level very long as a manager, but he was always one of those guys, Tim, that you got into discussions about baseball on the bench, because after the shoulder surgery they had, again, it was playing with some friends softball. that really curtailed his active playing career. But he was always interested in why a manager was doing this or doing that.
Nice play by Bush. 2 down.
Analyzing players. Remember, he would look at opposing players and say, "No, this guy doesn't handle the breaking ball very well. I pitch him this way, I pitch him that way." He was always a very active from a analyzing standpoint.
An innovator as well. Yoan Moncada is up. I think when you look at what he did with Dennis Eckersley when he managed the Oakland Athletics, making him a closer.
Mm-hmm.
And how good was Eck? He won the MVP and the Cy Young.
There was
as
also
a
a track record that Tony La Russa saw firsthand, because if you think back to the Oakland A's when Kansas City moved to Oakland, there was another guy who was really hostile about being moved from a starting rotation to the bullpen. His name was Raleigh Fingers. And Tony La Russa was with the A's when they made that move and put Raleigh Fingers in the bullpen. And Raleigh was extremely upset about it to begin with.
Worked out.
I guess so.
But Tony has a way. 2 outs, nobody aboard. And the pitch coming to Yoan Moncada. Yeah, I learned early you don't ask Tony how he's doing today before the game. I used to see him around. I was with another team. He traveled with us, and I'd say, "Hey, Skipper, how are you doing today?" He'd look at me and he'd say, "Depends on the score." So I knew whether I could say hi to him after the game or not, depending on who won. But he was like that every day. Say, hey, Tony, how you doing? Depends on the score.
End of conversation.
That was it. It ended right then. If they lost, I avoided them. Bouncer toward the left side, slow roller. Pazos to play it. He'll just hang on, put it in his pocket. That'll be a base hit for Moncada. This is the second Chicago hit.
Left fielder number 74, Eloy Jimenez.
Where Tony's fun is when you get into conversations about fundamentals of the game, about strategy of the game, defensive alignment, what you're going to do in a spot here and a spot there, matchup and matchup. That's where you get the intricacies, and you really pick the brain of someone that sees all of the field.
And then Eloy Jimenez slaps one to right field for a 2-out single. So still a bit of a pulse here. Pinch runners at second base now. Zach Remillard is at second after the Jimenez base hit. And one thing Tony used to do, he tried it a little bit when he was the manager in St. Louis. In an infield situation, he'd have a shortstop second baseman play back. And then as the pitcher went into the windup, he'd have him charge toward the infield. We used to call it the zone blitz. But it was a little different. And you don't see anybody doing that. He did it for a little while.
Because he wanted to change the eye level and the perception of a hitter. Because as a hitter, before the pitch, you're looking at the setup of the infield.
Right.
And now you get two guys moving. It distracts you ever so slightly.
He was also one of the managers that had his pitcher hitting eighth.
Yeah.
When he had Albert Pujols.
Which I've never understood. But if that's the case, and why do you want him to bat one spot in front of a spot that he would normally have to? What if you always say, well, when the roster turns over, the batting order turns over. Well, you don't know when it's going to turn over.
Tony tried things. He's not afraid to do it. He'll do it again with the White Sox.
Yeah.
He'll do something, and whatever it is, it's worked for him. I mean, he's in the Hall of Fame. He's one of the most successful managers of all time. Just look at his record.
And he's not afraid to speak his mind. Tony and Dusty Baker have gotten into it, managerial-wise, a few times.
play. I mean, this is called bat boy defense. Solid.
Pickett. Get some knuckles from the dugout, too.
Got the right glasses and everything. So Remillard off of second base. Vaughn at the plate. 2-2 pitch from Pazos. Got him swinging. Pazos gives up 2 hits. Strands both men. Sort of stretch time at Camelback Ranch. We'll have a bottom of the inning coming up next. No runs, 3 hits, and an error for the White Sox. Teheran Guerrero, former Marlin, will take over for the White Sox in the bottom of the 7th inning. Yes, the Dodgers are ahead. Yes, normally there wouldn't be a bottom of the 7th, but this is spring training and the shortened game today. Up until the 14th of March, teams have the opportunity to work it out manager to manager, whether or not they want to go 5 innings, 6 innings, 7 innings, all the way up to 9. And then after the 14th, they have to be a minimum of 7 innings. My guess is we're going to see more 9-inning games. But there have been some different rules put in place this year to protect the pitchers. Here's Rangel Rovelo at the plate. Second time up for him. And he takes a strike on the outside corner.
I understand 9 innings tomorrow night.
Yeah, originally that was going to be 7, but somebody's changed their mind. So Reds and Dodgers 9 full tomorrow night. Full game. Jimmy Nelson pitching against Sonny Gray. Those are the starters. Expect Nelson to perhaps go 3 innings. Let's see. Nothing in 2 to Rovelo. And Guerrero ready to go. The tall right-hander fires. Rovelo fouls it off. That White Sox logo, when I see it, doesn't it remind you of the like the Ron Kittle, Greg Luzinski days?
Mm-hmm.
They brought back that older logo when they used to wear the shorts. 1 out. Rovelo grounds out to Matt Reynolds at short.
Well, some of the White Sox uniforms, including the one that you're alluding to, set the standard in one category and not the category of best dressed.
I don't know if many young baseball fans, you remember that when the White Sox actually rolled out uniforms where the players had shorts.
I remember White Sox players come in and says, "Can you believe they have us wearing this?"
It's probably what you said with the A's when they made you wear your first pair of white shoes.
Instructional league. First time.
Michael Bush will take a strike. 1 ball, 1 strike.
And then the uniforms with the A's. They moved to Oakland. Wedding gown white. Fort Knox gold, and the road uniform, the Pacific Ocean misty green.
It's a lot more than just green, gold, and white.
Coaches and manager wore white hats.
Oh, so they could get spotted, right?
Yeah, green sleeves under the uniforms, gold sleeves.
Pitch to Bush, 1-2. And he goes down swinging. Michael Bush strikes out here in the 7th. But isn't that the true story, that the reason the A's coaches had white hats was so the owner could spot them immediately?
First baseman number
Didn't have to search
57,
around
Matt
for him.
Davidson.
I guess. I was there, and there were many, many stories about Charlie.
Oh, we've got time in another day, so get to those another day, maybe.
And we got the SEC also.
Yeah. 2 down, bottom of the 7th. Matt Davidson. Dodgers with an 8-0 lead. Davidson just getting in at bat. Guerrero getting his work in. So we'll be with you a little later tomorrow night. And the pitch. And that's downstairs. 2 balls, no strikes. So counting down to opening day, but still much work to be done between now and then. A little bit shorter spring training this year. May not seem like it to some, but it is. Davidson fouls it back. So the Dodgers pitching today shut out the White Sox in 7 innings and took just 85 pitches to do it. Remember, going back to the first inning, the starter, Julio Urias, who was scheduled to go 2, had to go 3 because the White Sox came out of the chute hacking and had a 4-pitch inning. They made 3 outs on 4 pitches in the first inning.
And the top of the first inning lasted 1 minute and 20 seconds.
And the next inning wasn't much better for the White Sox. It was only an 8-pitch inning, so he had 12 pitches through 2 innings, had retired 6 straight, and in his 3 innings of work, retired 9 straight. Went through the order once and got them all out. David Price pitched a scoreless inning, went 1-2-3, striking out 1. It was good to see Price get back on the hill 1 year and a day from the last time he did. A lot of zeros up there.
Matt Beatty, a couple of RBIs in the first. The big blast, Corey Seager, the 3-run home run in the second.
Here comes the payoff pitch from Guerrero to Matt Davidson. This one is up in the air, second base. And Marco Hernandez grabs it for the out. That's going to do it. Dodgers earn their 2nd shutout win of the spring. Raising the clap for Dave Roberts. They get a win, their 4th of spring training. Well, it doesn't look like anybody's going anywhere right away, do they? Well, the umpires are. Okay, so we are done. 8-0. Dodgers get the win. For Rick Monday and Kirsten Watson, I'm Tim Neverett. Tomorrow night, Dodgers face the Reds on SNLA at 4:30. Jimmy Nelson will start for the Dodgers. Sonny Gray for the Reds. Hope you have a great rest of your Monday. Thanks for watching Dodgers baseball.